it's Becky from Cronin's Clips. So this morning I'm here at Jeanettes Pier. My husband's doing the Blackbeards Revenge 100K. I don't know if you can see the surfers in the background, but Jeanettes Pier is a really long pier. Normally it costs, I think, about $3 or so. I'm just to get in, and then if you want to fish, which there's a lot of people fishing off of here, not right here, but it's a little bit more. I'll put the prices in here. But it's a really long pier. There's some surfers. It goes all the way down. They started at the end. The race started. But you can see the beach houses and the big sand dunes. But if you just want to go down it, it's a few dollars. If you want to fish, it's more. But so I'm starting this morning here at Jeanettes Pier. And yeah. So I'm walking back up Jeanettes Pier, but that's the big building that you go in to pay, and then also if you needed any extra fishing gear or anything like that, there's a little gift shop in there. There's actually some exhibits, like some fish and some interactive exhibits too. So I'm back at the room. I forgot a couple things like a hat because it's really windy out there. But I just wanted to say that the breakfast was really good. So what they do is it's like a timed breakfast. I guess they give each room a time. There's like 8 to 8:30, 8:30 to 9, that kind of thing. And you go down and they have like stuff sitting out, pastries, coffee, juices, cereals and stuff. And then they make you like a warm breakfast with eggs, sausage, and I'll put a picture in here, and waffles with fruit. It was really good. It was really worth it. They also do make a boxed breakfast, which we might do later tomorrow, the next day, where you could go eat room. So like there is like these two chairs and this table, but also when you go outside there's this, though I think that one we might share with one of the neighbors, but anyway, doesn't seem to be too many people here this weekend. But yeah, so the breakfast, totally worth it. So I am headed to see what I can find. My hair's a mess because of course the wind on the beach is pretty bad, so I just didn't even bother to do anything with my hair. So anyway, see you then. Hey, I'm at the Fort Raleigh National Historic Site Visitor Center, and it's just a little drive here from Nag's Head and also from Jeanette Pier. Just a 15-minute drive. Just followed the signs and the GPS to the Fort Raleigh National Historic Site, and I'm about to go into the visitor center. There's a few people coming out, but I'm just gonna wait a second. The brown building there. Check it out. So that's the visitor center behind me. They had a little video that I watched first that was like 17 minutes. You can tell it's outdated, but it's a good little background if you don't know about the last colony of Roanoke. And then some displays, another little video about the theories on what happened to the colony and some relics and things. And so now I'm outside of the visitor center. I'm gonna walk along and see what I see as far as there's a plaque up here, and I believe some other things to see, but there's a good history in that visitor center. There's a little gift shop too with it's a National Historic Site, I guess, and so you can buy pouches and just various souvenirs also. And I'm gonna take a little walk down here. Here's the plaque. That's the side that talks about the Virginia Dare, and the side you can't really read. I guess that one's much older as far as the words that they put. You can pause the video, but it talks about Virginia Dare baptism and where it was. I hear something up here that sounds like a woodpecker, but I don't see it. Over here is some seats. I guess they do some talks there sometimes. Here's the reconstructed earthwork that they did. They don't know why it would have been so small. So apparently they reconstructed in about 1950. They found it in like 1896. It's pretty cool. So here's where you can see the Lost Colony show. It's got different hours. I'm sure it's not right now because it's cool and it's in March, but it's pretty cool because it overlooks, and there's I guess that's the sound right there. But I read that Andy Griffith started here as like a teenager or something like that, where he did some of his first acting. But it looks like a lot of people show up. It's probably a pretty big tourist thing that goes on here. So I'm at Roanoke Festival Park. This is the museum. A lot of hands-on stuff. Oh, there's a pirate up there. That's pretty good. There's a little video over there. Oh, you can step up here. Oh, okay. So your kids can take your pictures. Okay. Oh, let's do the thing.
Be hearties. I see you standing there. You can't hide from me. I be Stumpy, an old Outer Banks pirate living here in the Adventure Museum. I've been waiting for you, cause I need to recruit some young pirates. So, go grab one of those pirate hats and a sword. Now, my young buccaneer, go find out more about the history of pirates. Of course, you probably know my fellow brethren of the coast, Blackbeard, who unfortunately met his demise down in Obrico. So if you don't want to walk the plank, you must continue to traverse this museum and learn all.
So I'm at the Roanoke Festival Park. Over there's where you buy tickets, but heading down this way. Basically, it kind of reminds me of Jamestown, where this is more of the reenactment stuff. And I was just at the National Historic Site, which is the actual site. It had some stuff too, but this is like, I just went through the museum, and it has more of a, like, it's probably privately funded, but it had a lot of hands-on things at that museum, which I'll show. But this is more of not the actual site, but more outside things. There's a ship later, I'll show there. Here's the way to the ship, the Elizabeth II. It's over there, and then this way to the early settlement. The reason I say it's like Jamestown is because they have a Jamestown settlement, and then a like old Jamestown, and one is like the location, and then one is more of the privately funded but historically mostly accurate. So that's what this kind of area is reminding me of. I'm at the back of the First Colony Inn. There's chairs, picnic tables. There's even some sand wheelchairs over here. Oh no, it's just beach chairs to take with you. And then during the summer, there's a pool over there that's open. So I just had the social hour. So during this time, the spring, it's 3:30 to 4:30 on Fridays and Saturdays. It's good. Have a glass of wine, crackers, cheese, fruit, little tarts. And this is the path to the beach. I don't know if I'm going to go all the way down there right now, but this leads you straight to the beach over there. So if we turn around, you can see the first colony and maybe over here. So after the social I went to, this is like a couple of days later, but I just went back to the room and chilled out because he was still running, and watched a movie. But then I wanted to drive. Basically, they run all the way down the Outer Banks from the north to the south, and so I wanted to drive down while it was still daylight.
Which is a good idea.
It was a good idea to see it, and also there's a lot of runners on the road.
Yeah.
And so it's much more comfortable to avoid people with the daylight. So
yeah, that's the downside of that race. There's a lot of upsides to that race. The downside of the race is you're running on the active road with somewhat of it, like some parts had a great shoulder and some of them did not. So if you're ever here during race week for that race, be very careful where you're driving because the runners on the road do not have a lot of space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how was the race as far as ultras go? He's done ultras, so
I did 100K, so 62-mile race. Took about 14 hours because there was a headwind the entire way. For 14 hours, I had somewhere between a 20 and a 40 mile an hour headwind hitting me. On the bridges, it was terrible. That being said, despite the headwinds, running through those neighborhoods was really pretty. The scenes, like you got to see all these sand dunes and stuff like that. That was cool. So it was a fun race. It was just, I could have did without the wind.
And at the end, at the finish line, this restaurant bar stays open, or at least it did for this time.
Yeah,
called the Wreck.
Yeah, that was a good bar.
And I got some food. Like I had dinner. It was pretty small. Sat with another couple, and there was a band, like guy playing the guitar and drummer. And so I did that for a little while, and then I just kind of sat in the car and watched some videos and stuff. Kept checking on him to see.
It's a boring spectator sport.
Yeah,
it really is a boring spectator.
Yeah, I wouldn't drive down so early, but I wanted to see it in the daylight. So
yeah, so
that's what I did. And then he finished, and it was it was exciting.
Yeah.
And then we kind of waited for food. We ended up leaving, but
yeah,
but he got
just more tired than hungry. At that point,
it was like 2 a.m., 3 a.m.
The food looked great though. Like
2 a.m. at the time.
I recommend, even without eating or drinking there at all, I recommend that bar.
Yeah, the food was good. I got a black bean quesadilla. It was just black beans and cheese, but it was really good. Yeah, it really was good.
Yeah, the bar was called the Wreck.
The Wreck.
Yeah, it was the Wreck Tiki Bar. Like it was a nice bar, but I recommend it. It had a great atmosphere. I was just too tired.
Yeah, it was 2 a.m. So
yeah, and so, I'm a 9:30 kind of guy.
So then we had to drive back all the way up north. Mm-hmm. No other cars were on the road, but there were still some runners on the road, and so it was a little precarious. I was driving, of course. He was tired.
Some of those runners finished at like 11, 12 o'clock the next day.
Yeah, the 100-milers and
some of the 100Ks.
A lot of 100Kers. We had a lot, more to go. So
yeah. Bless you.
Thank you. So So anyway, we drove all the way back up and got back to the room.
Yeah, and then
I'm still glad we stayed here. It was a nice place.
Yeah. This is
nice to have.
This was a good decision. I really like this.
3 nights back to back at this place.
Yeah. Yeah, all in all, it was a nice trip. The only downside was the hour drive back, and that was more her problem because I kind of fell asleep a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Anything?
So, yeah.
So
remember, tomorrow's just a dream away.